You want to bulk up, you want to get jacked. Now, imagine trying to do that when you have absolutely zero control over the food that you get or when you get it. That's what we faced in prison, and that is called a constraint. And even with that, we still managed to get absolutely jacked. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how we did it and how you can use those exact same principles also to get these results. Because you can train all you want, but if you do not have the nutrition dialed in, you're just not going to get the results that you could really get. Now, I don't want you to get this twisted. This diet was absolutely not fasting, intermittent fasting, partial fasting, half fasting, whatever kind of fasting you want to call your self-starvation. That was absolutely not what we were doing in prison, and that was not getting results. We ate. It was 4 to 6 meals a day, every single day. We would get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We would save either some of that food, or we would go and eat commissary later on, or we would do like a mix of the two in order to get that 4 to 6 meals a day. But it was a constant, continual state of food being taken in. That was how we bulked and got the results we got. And really just built the strength and the muscle and the endurance, because you got to have the fuel in order to run the machine. And yeah, the food was trash, garbage at the minimal, but we still managed to get it in and get it done. And I will go into that trash, garbage food a little bit later here, but just know food quality on the floor. Now, you can call that 4 to 6 small meals a day bro science if you want to, but the eyeball test, it doesn't lie. We were getting results. Prison jacked is definitely a thing. So I'm going to be getting into the full breakdown of the science of why it is that this 4 to 6 small meals does actually work. It gets results because all your body really cares about is survival. And if it knows that it's getting a steady state of food intake and it doesn't have to worry about starvation, it can put forth all of that nutrients and all of the minerals, vitamins, all that good stuff, the macros, the whole nine, into muscle and what you are trying to accomplish. And that is what you're going to get when you're putting that nutritional food into your body continually at a consistent basis. See, your body's true focus is in survival. So if it's continually being put in a position where it's starving and it's not knowing when the next meal is coming, it is going to look at your muscle as an added expenditure. It's not going to want to sit there and put forth any kind of effort to try to help sustain muscle or to build muscle. It's going to just want to go into full-on survival mode. So you need to fuel the machine. And although the survival mode thing and the muscle, you could possibly say, is an extreme expense in the prison system that it needs to have. I digress on that subject though. It is just how the body works. It wants to survive and it needs food to do it. And it does not exactly need muscles to do that, because muscles just rev up a lot of calories and eat up a lot of calories just being there. So food, steady, continual state of food. 4 to 6 meals all throughout the day, every day. That'll get the results. That'll put the bulk on there if you're also in the calorie surplus. So what you want to do is you want to build up a consistent, steady food schedule where you're eating those 4 to 6 meals a day on a set schedule, or at least as close to set schedule as possible, so you build consistency with your food intake. You're going to want to have one of those meals be roughly an hour and a half before the workout, and then you're going to want to have another one of the meals be immediately after the workout. For the one before the workout, you're going to want protein, of course, but you're also going to want a more like complex carb style of carb for that meal. For the meal immediately after the workout, you want to go a little bit higher protein and simple carbs. Now for that one, maybe we do something like a little honey bunny slathered in a massive ton of peanut butter, washing down a couple of chocolate milks. Yeah, maybe we did a little bit of dirty bulking, but you know, we had to be a little bit dirty in prison. It's just how it goes. For the late evening snack, what we would do a lot of times, because you're wanting to go, if you're going for the bulk, you're wanting to go more of a complex carb again, lower glycemic, which basically just means the rate of speed that it turns into sugar in your blood system. You don't want to like spike your insulin level right before you go to sleep. So you're wanting like a lower glycemic, complex carb with a slower digesting protein if possible, which is like white milk. For us, it was like white milk. Maybe we do like meat patties, peanut butter again, just because peanut butter is like prison staple. Out here, you would just probably go with like a casein-based protein powder. For the early morning one, you're wanting to go, of course, protein, as always. Every one of the meals, you definitely want protein. But for that early morning one, you also want simple carbs again, because you're going to want to get that glucogen levels replaced from that like night's fast of sleeping and the whole thing of no food for that long amount of time. So it's simple carbs, bananas, white bread, some kind of a sweets type thing, chocolate milks, stuff of that nature. The chocolate milks are nice because you also got the protein going on. But that's how you want to kick off that breakfast. So for an example of a day's eating schedule, it might look something like this. 6 o'clock, breakfast. 9 to 10 o'clock, somewhere around there, you'll have a snack. 12 o'clock, that'll be your lunch. Then if you're working out in the afternoon, like right after you get off of work, whatever, you'd go and around 3 or 4 o'clock, eat your pre-workout. Then you give it about an hour and a half, whatever, somewhere around there, hit that workout. And then immediately after the workout, you'd eat that after workout snack that I was talking about. And then around 7 o'clock, you'd eat dinner. And then that final snack would be around like 9 o'clock. And then pass out, repeat tomorrow. And yep, that's a lot of eating. The portion and macro hack. Now, when it comes to bulking, there's just simply no way around that you have to eat more. So the way we would do that is we would just increase the amount of food to each one of those small meals. Just like when we're trying to cut it down, we'll just decrease. And normally it's manipulating the carbs. That's usually where we put our focus at. Now, we didn't want to add just garbage, junk, trash food for accomplishing the bulk. So I'll tell you what, I got a video over here where I go more into like how we did the wheeling and dealing in order to get the different food and stuff that we got in order to eat the best we could in prison. So I'll just link that over here. But in this video, I'm going to just stick more to the actual bulking, how we did that, as well as what you can do here to get that bulk yourself. So to keep this simple for you, for the types of food that you want to go for proteins such as eggs, meat, milk, fish, all of those types of proteins. You want to, if you're going for the like before the workout or that first one in the morning, like for instance with milk, that's the time that you'd want to go with chocolate milk because it also has the simple carbs in it. So you get that like added benefit. It's kind of like a 2-for-1 with the chocolate milk, but like for all the other meals, you'd want to go with just the white milk. We drank a lot of milk. Milk, it turns little baby cows into big massive cows. It turns small little calves into big bulls. So if it turns a small calf into a massive bull, milk's some pretty good stuff. For the carbs, you want to stay complex low glycemic style carbs for the majority of the carbs, which means whole grain, wheat bread, sweet potatoes, oatmeal. We ate veggies too, but we didn't really count veggies in anything. They're just kind of like a filler food. For the simple carbs, it was either going to be bananas or sweets, stuff like that, oatmeal Debbies, honey bunnies. You can't not have the honey bunnies. And then if we were really going crazy with it, it was going to be honey bunnies with white bread. Oh, that's a whole nother level. Oh, you got a peanut butter in there too. But I digress. So white bread, white rice, white potatoes, all that stuff's your simple carbs. So for an example of what a bulking prison diet meal plan would just completely look like, it would look like this. It would be 6 in the morning, eggs, oatmeal, chocolate milk, and maybe some breakfast sausages. Then 9 would be that snack, which would be like white milk and a fat peanut butter sandwich on wheat bread, something of that nature. The 12 o'clock, which would be lunch, that would be made up of possibly a meat patty or a bunch of slices of meat on wheat bread. Maybe there'd be some veggies thrown in. The 3 or 4 o'clock, that pre-workout, that would usually be a slice of wheat bread again with maybe some of the breakfast sausages or some meat patties from the night before. And of course, got to have a milk with that. Then immediately after the workout, that would be when we'd like smash like a packet of tuna, maybe 2 or 3 chocolate milks, or do one of those like honey buns, slather up in the peanut butter or something of that nature. Then the dinner would be veggies, meat patties, chicken, or if they were serving some kind of slop type deal, we just pick all the meat we could possibly get out of it and do it up that way. Sweet potatoes, hopefully, but that would be the way the dinner would roll. Then that late night snack, which would be another one of the freestyle meals that we would eat, we would do either meat patties still that we would have saved from dinner time on wheat bread, or maybe a super thick peanut butter sandwich again with a bunch of milks, maybe 2 or 3 of those white milks. Then it's just rinse and repeat. You just stay consistent with the food just like you stay consistent with the workouts. It's the way it's got to go. And so you could check out real quick and easy. Here's the link to the other food video where I go more into like how we were hustling and coming up on getting the food, as well as some more of the just basic diet, nutritional type philosophies and ideas that we used in prison. Check out the link. Peace, love, joy. Love you guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Prosperity, all that good stuff. See you in the next one.